When you're planning to start a new business, you try to gather information, you want to learn about as much as possible. Without noticing, you accumulate some information that might not be so accurate. They're known as myths. And of course, alternative lending industry has some of them. So I brought it down to 7 myths wrong about the alternative lending industry. Before we get started, if you enjoy my videos, do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel. It definitely helps me bring content like this in front of people like yourselves who are interested in starting a new business in the field of financial services. One of the myths that comes up quite a bit is, hey Oz, I certainly do need to get licensed in order to sell alternative lending products. Wrong. I understand where this is coming from because people are used to learning about how to get licensing, how to get licensed to sell insurance, real estate, bank loan products. But alternative lending industry, as of this moment, no licensing is required, which is a great thing because you can hit the ground running really, really fast. But in the future, if there was any licensing requirements, this industry is far superior to any of those positions out there. A bulk of the people that we get on an annualized basis have some level of background in any of those industries. Either they worked as an admin, or they bought and sold real estate, or they looked into real estate. So that's why I understand why this question comes up, but I just wanted to clear the air that there is no licensing requirement as of right now to become a business loan broker in the alternative lending industry. That's why it's the best time to get in. The second myth is, hey Oz, I don't have any sales experience. I haven't sold anything in my life. How am I going to succeed in this sales-oriented industry? Well, there are two things wrong in this comparison. One is, well, this is not necessarily a super sales-oriented industry. There are players in this industry who make it look like you need to be a Wolf of Wall Street character and just go hardcore sales. You have two ways to go about it. One is you learn ways of helping this business owner in a consultative manner. That's number one. Number two is if you do not want to be involved at all with the sales process of these funding options, you go through lending partners who do that part on your behalf. For example, we have partners that all you have to do is pass the name and the email and the phone number of the person. They take over the entire process, talk to the customer, determine their needs, match them against a proper funding option, whether that's a startup funding, existing funding for existing businesses. It could be working capital, rapid funding options. It could be midterm, long-term, or if it's a real estate transaction, they want to invest into real estate properties. The lending partner does that, and they work with the customer to see through the whole sales process. And at the end, the deal is funded. And as the business loan broker who passed that information over to them, you get paid your portion of the commissions. We have many people on our platform who are bookkeepers, accountants, financial advisors. They have access to so many clients who are looking for funding, but they are busy with what they're doing every single day and they're not really sales oriented. So they want to pass it off to the lending partners and have them do that part. So it's perfectly okay. 3 is I need to know how to do a lot of marketing. Of course, it does not hurt that you have marketing expertise because you need leads when you're starting a business. You need to have access to people who are wanting what you have. Businesses need capital. They just don't know that there are options outside of the bank. And as a business loan broker, as long as you let them know of those options, they turn into leads for you. More than 80% of the members who join, they do not have any marketing experience. We show them how to generate leads online, even if they have no prior experience. So as long as you're willing to learn the skills of generating leads online, we call it demand-based marketing. Only market to people who are wanting what you're trying to help them with. Another myth that comes up is, hey, I need to buy leads. One thing that I warn over and over and over again, do not purchase leads. You're basically buying somebody else's junk. If the leads were that good, they would be using them themselves. So if they're in the lead selling business, leads are being sold to so many other people. Will there be opportunities in there? Yes, but that's going to require you to do massive amounts of due diligence and call them and telemarket them and email them and all that stuff just so you get to somebody whose information will be sold to someone else tomorrow. I came across so many people who paid thousands of dollars to lead providers and they lost their shirt. One of the members in our community, every time she was buying leads from this specific provider, that would cost her $3,000-$4,000. She wouldn't even break even on those. These are supposed to be glowing hot, ready to go leads. She's currently doing 40 to 50K per month through the methods that we teach. Another one is, I don't want to be telemarketing. I don't want to be cold calling. When I started in this industry about 10 years ago, that's all I did because no one, including myself, knew that online marketing was possible. So I was calling 300 people a day, 3 days of the week. The remaining 2 days of the week, I would go out there and knock on doors and try to talk to business owners. That was the way to generate leads. This has many disadvantages. First of all, you're just calling people who don't want to talk to you. They're not waiting for your phone call. You're randomly calling people just so you can generate interest and book maybe 2-3 appointments per day. So I noticed in a short amount of time that this is not the way to go. The way to go is not to do telemarketing and cold calling. And a lot has changed since then. If you're trying to build your business through telemarketing and cold calling, will that work? Yes, but how is that different than reporting to a job, honestly? If your goal is to quit your job by telemarketing all day long, you're building yourself a job. The moment you stop telemarketing, leads stop coming in. But someone might say, well, Oz, what if I'm not the one calling? What if I have people calling in my office? Well, what happens after 5 p.m. when the entire office walks out? Your entire lead generation stops. That's why you need to use automations and you need to take advantage of online marketing. As long as you're willing to invest in yourself and learn the skills that allow you to create a marketing machine that brings you leads on demand. Another thing I hear over and over again, hey Oz, this sounds great, but I have a full-time job. Do I need to quit my job to start this business? Depends on how you're doing this. If you're trying to wing it or go through this process through trial and error and learn it on your own, if you can just cut down 1 or 2 hours a day and follow a proven system, which we provide, until you start making as much money as you're making at your job right now. If your job is paying you $5K right now, you need to be in a position to fund 2 to 3 deals per month. Honestly, that's all it takes for you to match what you're making right now. And then you'll have repeat customers over time. It's going to allow you to either cut down the hours or quit your job. Or if you love your job, or maybe you need to stay on your job because of the insurance or something, when you reach that level, it allows you to hire someone like a virtual assistant to do a lot of the operational things on your behalf. For example, we have a great member in our community who's a truck driver. I think he drives all the time. It feels that way whenever we talk to him. He's on the road so many hours and he has very limited time. He made up his mind, and his epiphany moment, he got into a trucking accident. His 18-wheeler rolled over, survived that without a scratch, but it was a wake-up call for him. So he told himself, listen, I am in danger all the time, and this is eating away from my health to be driving a truck all these hours. And the other thing is there's no future, honestly. If you don't drive, you're not getting paid. He knew that he needed to do something. It was like a pivotal moment. We helped him find and hire a virtual assistant who's super knowledgeable and trained by us. The virtual assistant was able to run his social media campaigns and help him create it, generate leads on a daily basis, and pass it out to the lending partners while he's doing what he must do. His business is being built on the side. Most people can carve out 1 to 3 hours a day. If you cannot, in all honesty, you're probably not telling yourself the truth, because if your why is strong enough, you'll make the time. And if you have 2 to 3 hours a day, we provide a lot of automated system for you to generate leads. You will be able to generate leads until you get to a position of quitting your job. You can take advantage of our lending partners to do the work for you. Once you quit your job, if you decide to do so, you can take over the whole process and deal with the customers one-on-one. But until then, there are ways for you to build this business on automation. That's my point. No, you do not need to quit your job. And the final myth that comes up is that this is only for one lending option. This is only for a certain type of business. That used to be true 10 years ago. When I first started selling, pretty much the only funding option was merchant cash advance. You were providing an advance to businesses who need capital, and banks would not even touch them. That is still the case. Banks do not want to lend to small businesses, especially small businesses they deem to be high risk. But now there's so many lending options. For example, on our platform, we have over a dozen lending options that cater to people who are starting a business so they can get access to 0% interest funding. You can help someone buy a vehicle or any kind of software or equipment. You can help someone get working capital. You can help someone buy an investment property. You can help someone get advance on an invoice they receive. I can go on and on and on and on and on. That's how our members who are generating 20, 30, 40K per month are doing this. Their cost is so low because they have a solution for almost every situation out there. Hopefully this video helps you to decide whether the information you have matches to what the reality is and whether this business is a good fit for you or not. Whether you work with us or not is obviously your decision, and I respect it either way. But if you decide to check out what we have, I'm going to put together a training here for you to click. Gives you more details about the alternative lending industry. I hope to see you on the next video. Take care now.